Hi, welcome back to my video series, Stop Pulling and Basic Leash Techniques. And this episode is just on pressure and release, and it's teaching a dog that whenever there's pressure on the lead, then the answer to that is to simply release that pressure. So it's just a very natural thing. If pressure builds up, the way to alleviate that is simply to release it. So it's something that comes natural to all living things. You know, if you're hungry, pressure of being hungry builds up, the release is to eat. If you've got a scratch, you know, the pressure is building up that itch, and the release is to scratch it. You know, if a dog pulls on a lead and it's uncomfortable, the release of that pressure is simply to come back towards the pulling. So again, this goes to show again that the opposition reflex doesn't really exist. It's not a reflex at all, because if it was, you couldn't train a dog to do this if it was built into them. Koji, sit. Alright, so what I'm teaching a dog here is that when this goes tight, not when he's pulling like crazy, but the moment it goes tight, I want a dog to release that. Before it gets to the point my arm's being pulled out of the socket, I want the dog to release that. And the way to release that is for him to come back into the direction that it's being pulled. So if I'm here and the lead's being pulled out that way, then I expect the dog to release by coming back this way. If it's back here, the release is back here. If it's forward, the lead's going forward, then the release is to come here. And if it's going this way, the release is to come here. So it's a very simple concept, and it's a very simple technique. Alright, I don't want to be pulling up, because when I pull up, I'm teaching the dog to come up like so and lift the balls up, so I can end up teaching the dog to jump. Good boy. Or if the dog's in a standing position, I pull up, I can be just getting the dog to sit. And same here, if I pull down, so he wants to release that by going down. And I don't want him to come down, I want him to follow the leash. So when you do it, you want it nice and straight this way. Alright, so you can do this basically anywhere. I've done this in the kitchen while I'm having breakfast and work with the dog, or a cup of coffee. I've done it while I'm watching TV at the ad breaks. I've done it outside in a scheduled training session, and I've just done it when I've come out outside, thrown a lead on and gone through it a few times. So you can do it all day long at different times for short periods, and the dog will get it. So really, all I'm doing is, like I said, the lead's this way. So if I pull this way, good boy, I expect the dog to release, and that's what I'm looking for. As soon as the dog releases the pressure, here's the pressure. As soon as the dog releases the pressure, yes, I release the pressure. Good. So there he goes. And it's very natural for him just to release. And as soon as he does, I mark it, praise him, good boy, treat him. Most importantly, I don't get here and I don't pull the dog. I'm not tugging on the dog like this. I'm not pulling the dog. I'm simply applying a little bit of pressure. Yes, and I'm marking the moment the dog releases that pressure. And as soon as the dog begins to release the pressure, I release the pressure. So we meet. Alright, come on. Good boy. Alright, so as soon as he releases it, I release it. So he fully understands that releases the pressure. So here, if I go this way, yes, good boy. I mark the moment he comes forward, I release the pressure here with him, so there's no chance of any pressure coming on, and we mark it. Same, yes, good boy. So it just goes like that. Good. And the same thing, if I go back, as you can see, he comes back, he takes the pressure off, I would mark it and do it. So practice it in all directions. And like I said, it's very simple. It just takes consistency and timing to mark it. Yes, good boy. Good. Now if your dog's been a bit hyper and it's creating the pressure itself by taking on, all you do is hold it. When it gets to the end of the lead, you know, or halfway down the lead, don't give it too much lead. Half a lead is fine to start with, and it gets to the end, all you're going to do is hold it in. Hold it close to your body. The further away it is from your body, the more strength the dog has. If it's a bigger dog or you're not very big, it's going to end up a battle. Don't pull back, remember. We're not creating conflict. This is all very gentle. So if the dog gets out there, I just hold it here, and I wait for that dog to give up, and they will. They'll get out there and they'll think, this is tight, and they're not going anywhere because they haven't got 1 inch. I haven't moved with them, I haven't given them any room, nothing. I've just been here. So the dog's got a certain distance, the lead's gone tight, they can't go any further, they will naturally release it. The moment they release it, I mark it and I reward. So if the dog's jumping around and pulling, that's what you do. When it gets out there, just hold it in. Don't let it get out there and pull it in. Keep it in here the moment it begins to move. And then just hold it there. The dog will get to the end. As soon as it releases it, bang, mark it, get a treat, get it out to it. Alright, catch it. Good. And then when it's not moving, you just do this. There it is. Good. Yes, and I take the pressure off here. So you can see I'm not getting here and I'm not pulling him. I'm not getting here and doing this. Good boy. Come around. I'm not doing that at all, and I'm definitely not jerking or anything else. What I'm trying to do is make this very gentle, very light pressure. Yes, good boy. I take the pressure off so there's no more pressure on there. He clearly understands that when there's pressure, he comes towards it, takes it off, reward, jackpot, everybody's happy. And that's really important. I'm not pulling, I'm not jerking, I'm not doing anything else. Alright, I'm not saying anything, I don't have a treat out, I'm not luring, nothing. I just want him to make those decisions, and I want it to be conflict free. If I get into this tug of war with him, then it's not conflict free, and I'm creating issues with him and a lead. So I want him to be very comfortable and understand that if this goes like this, the response is to simply let it go and come. Yes, good. And it's a little difficult because he's wrapped around me, but here, yes, good boy. And here I'll just give enough room so he can get around. So as soon as it's on there, yes, good boy. As soon as it's on there, there's no conflict. So that's another thing to watch that I mucked up there while I was talking, was he was sort of wrapped in behind me a little bit, and I put the pressure on. That's left him really nowhere to go without his first instinct there will be fight it because he's up against me. So I hope that makes sense. Do this lots of times during the day, very short sessions, and again, remember, no conflict. This is about teaching them to have a very natural response to a lead that immediately goes tense, and that's to come with that tenseness and take the pressure off. I hope that helps. We'll see you for the next one.